Hello and welcome back to the Robo Samurai channel, and today I'm going to be bringing you a review of Transformers Legacy, the Prime Universe Bulkhead, and that's basically what it says here. So, and here's the figure. But let's take a look here at the box itself. Look at this thing. It's definitely different, and there is no plastic here whatsoever to protect the figure. So I guess something as a shelf warmer, it's going to have to be dusted on the inside too, not just on the top. Anyway, here's the side, and we can kind of take a look here at the artwork. Very interesting. And then we also have here we go. We got the side art as well. And it looks like we have Hot Rod. I'm going to say that's Hot Rod. Looks like the young face. We've got RC from what I also assume is going to be from the Prime universe. I don't know. And then we have Blaster here. And then there's good old Bulkhead right there. Bulky himself. And then Prime up here. Here's the back of the box, and something that's really interesting is that you will find this little QR code back here. And let me get this into focus, and you can kind of take a look at it yourself. However, I'll go on ahead and show you this. Oh, by the way, here's the bottom of the box. And one more thing, just before I show you what that QR code does. I like the fact that it looks kind of a little bit like a tech spec back here. That's interesting. So... interesting here, but let's find out what that actually means. But this is of course, Hasbro's new packaging, and he's basically tied to a piece of cardboard. And this is a lot like the other ones. And if you look, I have simply pulled out. I just go like this, and I just force the little plastic thing through, and boop, and there. So I retain all of my plastic ties. And by the way, you can probably put him back in here and put the plastic ties back. So interesting if you wanted to store him like that. It's a real pain in the butt though, and who wants to do that? So not much to say about the packaging itself outside of the art and all that other stuff. Yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look at this thing here. I have now pulled up over here on my iPad, so let me get it out for you guys, show you what it looks like. This is it here. Check this out. So basically what you got going on is a reflection on my camera, but you can see, let's see if I can get this in focus for you. There you go. It's like an animated version of Bulkhead, and his eyes are glowing, and you get like all of this great pew 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 action, and you got the, oh, he's gonna deflect the shots kind of a thing. It says Transformers on the side, and if you scroll up and you look at this here, you can see he says it's an Autobot. Alt mode is an army van. Function is heavy munitions. Special unit Team Prime. Origin Universe Prime. So evidently that's the thing here. And it says signature weapon, Energon, Gatling, Blaster. Rapidly fires rounds of Energon Blast. Bulkhead, Bio. Bulkhead may be a gentle jet, but most of the time, but this wrecker is always ready to kick some tailpipe. And so here's his tech specs that are kind of enumerated out there. Strength, intelligence, speed, and firepower. And you can kind of take a look at that. Pretty cool stuff. I will put a link in the description so that you guys can just check this out. Or you can scan that thing I just showed you. So anyway, let's take a look here at Bulkhead. He's a pretty cool looking Transformer, I'd have to say. And, you know, I mean, he's come a long way since his animated self, huh? You know, and I love the weapon here. You can do all sorts of great things with it, but it does have this little peg right here, and you can peg it into either side of the wheel. Well, here, that's how that was sitting. So it could go over here if you feel like it. This is the Gatling gun that they talked about. Yeah, you can put it there if you want, put it there. And then this is the standard 5mm port. So he could hold it in this hand. You could stick it on top of this thing here if you wanted. You could stick it on his arm because he does have those ports as well. You could even stick it here if you feel like, for some reason. I don't know why you would want to do that. But yeah, all right. And then there's, you know, you could put it on this shield thing here. You could put it there. They have a shield with a Gatling gun on it. And it's a pretty cool little Gatling gun. I mean, it's got some paint on it. A little bit of what was that, gunmetal grayish looking paint, yeah, on the other side, but it's all clear plastic. Got it there, got it on top as well. So nice, 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 nice. Oh, and then there's there's a big old hole in it. Look at that there. That hole is probably another 5mm like port, so you could plug stuff in there, or maybe you can do stuff like that. Wow, I just found that out. I just discovered that. So if you have a 5mm peg port on there, you can do this kind of a number to it. So anyway, and then we have, well, let's talk about this thing here. This is his shield, and of course this is the canopy cover for his alt mode. So, I mean, not much to write home about here. There's a little peg right here, and then there's another peg here. If you flatten this peg out, you can just simply plug it in here. And now he has like that going on, which I actually don't mind that. That actually looks pretty good to me. So, yeah, so... And then, and that's what he kind of looks like with it from the back, by the way. You could close this up, give him some, like, more bulk, I guess. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you take a look here, I mean, from the side here, there's it's a little thin there. But that's okay. I'm used to seeing more of the bulk, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. I guess that's cool. I mean, it looks cool from the front. And clearly there's a little bit, I think this is supposed to be either Prime inspired, but still, that's what it looks like. So let's talk about this last accessory. This here, and actually just clips on. It kind of goes like this, and if you look, yeah, boom, there we go. You can see there's a peg there. Very reminiscent of, like, that thing Trailbreaker in Earthrise had, or a Grapple, with their, you can just slide it onto their hands. Okay, not a bad thing altogether, and you can put it on either hand. Therefore, the wrists do have that nice swivel to it, and you can plug his gun into it, and then you can just do that number, and he looks really cool. So, but without that, and by the way, all of his wheels seem to have that 5mm peg, but unfortunately, if you have it on there, it does not want to stay up. Okay, so you could put it here as well on the Gatling on the side of his leg. Imagine if you had like two of those, what fun you'd be having. Okay, so he's got the toe tilt-ish, I guess. He's got the ankle tilt. He's got the knee bends. He's got the, we'll call this a waist swivel here. Yeah, it looks good. And then he's got the elbow bend, and he can turn that thing all the way around. Head's on a ball joint, so, and yeah, pretty good looking head sculpt. It's neat, nice, reflective there, everything else. One interesting point is that this cab here, I think this entire thing is just clear plastic. So your clear plastics here and here on this joint. So just be mindful of that, here and here. So if that's kind of a deal breaker for you, maybe this figure is not for you, because sometimes clear plastic can have some issues down the road, especially with cracking. But when I transform it, you'll see like how much it depends upon those two joints that I just pointed out. What's nice about this, though, is that at least these here do peg into these shoulders, peg into the cab part, so it kind of gives it a bit more stability. So it's hollow in there, but okay. But his legs look nice, and these look like pretty decent legs. And you do have, you've got this this thigh swivel here, nicely defined, and he's got pretty much the full range when it comes to those things. Whoops. This came untabbed. That's a thing. But generally, this thing does have a lot of stability. Let's see here. Can he just balance on one leg? Yeah, he sure can. Check that out. Anyway, all right. So let's take a look at him next to Earthrise Prime. And there he is right there. For comparison's sake, just so you know what you're dealing with. Prime, can you hold his gun? Answer is yes, of course he can. Okay, can he hold this? Wow, that would be cool. Let's try that. Maybe. That's the answer. Maybe. It's got some clearance issues. It's really designed to, maybe if we went from underside, yeah, maybe. Okay, not really. All right, so anyway, there he is next to Prime. All right, so let's get him transformed. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put his arms out like so. And we're going to align them this way. And then, going ahead and straighten them all the way out. Let's go ahead and flip these. And we'll unpeg them. And if you look very carefully here, you'll see that there's a peg. And that's the tab I was talking about. It tabs into the cab right there. So untab both of these. Then we're going to lift this up, and there's that place right there, and it's supposed to tab in there and hold it securely, and it kind of does. Sometimes that becomes undone. So I'm going to open this up, and then this piece here, which is really difficult, it's very tight. You want to flip this out. There it is. The first time I did this, I thought I was going to flip my fingernail off. No joke. All right. So now that we got that, we want to work on this part here. So we're going to push his head in this way. Oh, by the way, you can transform it with this thing on his back right here, but I just leave it off because it's just better that way. It's a little easier to deal with. So back to this. Okay, so you want to open this up a bit, and what we're going to do is we're going to straighten this out, and then I'm going to take this, flip these down like so. Do you see how this works? It's going to open up like this, and then this is that hinge I was talking to you about. Remember, this is all painted clear plastic here. All of it. All of it. Okay, so, and then that's the joint it sits on. Okay? All right, just for note. Now, underneath here, there is a little panel, and what you want to do is push down Bulkhead's head and then pull that panel up, and the panel is the same size as the panel. It fits right into there, so that's where we want that. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take these two arms here, and we're going to turn them this way so that the wheels are sticking out, and that these two, and then eventually just pull these together, and you'll see that they're mated. The tabs on either side here, if you can see them, they're black there, but you want to tab these two shoulder joints together there, like that. Now that you have that, you're going to take these arms and you're going to fold them up like this, just like that, and just like that. There we go. All right, and then okay, so let's move on to the next part here. All right, so I'm going to pull this over straight like this, and then we're going to fold this down like this. Now, we're going to work on this really interesting part right here, and I say it's interesting. First of all, let's fold these in and get them out of the way. So fold his heels in like that, okay? The second thing we're going to do is open up this back part of his leg, and we're going to flip this thing out. This is actually the gas can. And then they're on balls, so ball joint. See it there? Ball joint. And then go on ahead, and once you get that out there, you can just close that up. Do the same thing on the other side. Flip that out. And do the same thing. Just close them up. Great. Now that we've got that, we are going to take this here, and we're going to bend the. Okay, so this here, it has to go around. Let's see if I can get this correct. So we want these to be kind of in this position here. Let's see if I got this correct. All right. Oops. All right, so like this. So we want these out on the side. I had to open this up to kind of free it because it was not really in the right spot, guys. So there we go. All right, so we're doing this and this. These actually will tab together, although we're not quite ready for this step, but I'll do it anyway. Let's see here. I might need to undo it again. Not sure. Now what we're doing is we're bending these at the knee, and then we're going to pull it over here. And if you look underneath on the side of his calf, there is a, I'm going to zoom in real quick here. you'll see it. It is right here. Tab that into there. Okay. Tab it so that it fits nicely into the side. And it should be kind of angled here. So this is what you're dealing with. You've got this, and all that should line up in this way. So this is not going to be a perfect 90 degrees, but it's going to be just about like that. It's the best way you can get this to tab into these pieces. So now with that, we'll go on ahead and we'll close the cab over the, remember this piece? Close the cab over it and then snap that down. Now let's go on ahead and bend these, and I hope I did this right, and I might not have, but let me see. Yeah, I'm going to have to open this up. See, this is what I mean, like tabbing these two legs together, and we're not at that phase because this plate has to be behind his thighs. So open this up, turn it all the way around, like so, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see here. All right. We're going to move this over here, I believe, and then let's see. All right. Nope. Nope. Okay, so, all right, hold on a sec. There. Oh, I forgot. And that's fine. That's how I do these. So this set of faux wheels here, we need to flip this down all the way like this, open these up, and they will go open like that. I'm just going to leave that like that. Now we... Okay, everyone, I'm back. So I had to kind of figure this out real quick off screen. It turns out that I need to open up this joint. So there is actually this joint right here, and that's what we need to do. So... and now we can take these and it will flip all the way around. And you got to kind of be careful too, because these joints at the bottom will, at least on the thighs, will align themselves a little differently than the way you may have them. So that's something to kind of look out for with these here. So let's see if I can't get this lined up correctly now that I have this open. Okay, open this. So now we have that. And you want to take this joint right here. Okay, collapse this into here so you have that. And then have this right over the edge. So this piece here, if you look, these here will line up here. This, if you see these curves here, they're supposed to fit around these wheel wells. So look very carefully and you'll see this curve, that wheel, that faux wheel. So all this will collapse down into that. And if you look very carefully, those gas cans right here, they have a little tab and a notch right there. You're supposed to fit them straight into there. So go on ahead and line those things up, and you can plug it straight in on both sides. And then you have it. So there's that and that. Now, you can plug these in like this. Now, the next thing you want to do is flip this up and flip this up. Have these ready. Now, here's something kind of cool, and I like this thing on this bulkhead figure, is that you see how these split right here, and then there's two pegs? They want you to store the weapons here. So the instructions show you putting one of the weapons right here, put that peg right there on that, and then it'll hold those legs together. That's cool. And then to do the same thing with this right here, where you just plug that in here, and there you have that. Now, you've got this here. You can take the back panel, and then there's that peg right there, and you plug the peg into here. You know, and if you can keep it on alternatively, and then fold these down, and then this will tab into that on the back of the leg, and on the same thing on the other side. Now, and there you got Bulkhead in his alt mode. Now that is some really, really, really cool stuff. So I think that this is neat. I mean, you know, it's not the Bulkhead we're maybe used to. But I think it's decent, and I think it works. I think it's negative. The big negative is that this is all clear painted plastic. It looks good, but it's also a little bit like, I know they match this plastic here with that. That looks really good. To me, it does, at least. This and that, and then this and that. But yeah, it's kind of like a little bit strange there. So, but that's kind of what you got going on there. And you can see the canopy tarp thing. And then you can kind of see the leg piece here behind the can. And then these these faux wheels here, they kind of are there as well. So, yeah. All in all, though, I like the paint on it. I like the paint here, there, on the lights. Yeah, and yeah, it just looks really good all the way around. This is all right. At least it's not as bad. It doesn't look like something you could open up. But yeah, could you take out all this weaponry? Yeah, I haven't done that yet, but let's do that. Why not? So if I take this, open this up, and then we can just undo it. And what's kind of interesting about that is that if you do that, you know, you've got you can post these post some of these in there, but then you got that open canopy kind of look there. And these aren't really ramps as the back of his feet or whatever, but it's all right. It kind of does look like that. All in all, not too bad. It's not really a bad looking figure. Yeah, you could put the ball here, I guess. Or you could put the gun on top of the ball. That's another option. You can put that here. Gatling gun on the side for the transport, you know. Maybe you can even put them on the wheels if you want. But of course, you know, that still happens. So anyway, so yeah, there's Bulkhead. What do I think of him? I think that he's pretty decent. Do you need it in your collection? Well, maybe. It just depends. If you're a completist and you want to pick up all these figures, I don't think it's a bad figure. It does have some, like I said, I think the most interesting thing, though, is this whole thing being, you know, this whole painted canopy, you know, being clear plastic. Could be a point of failure in the future. If that's an issue for you, maybe you don't want to collect this. But I think it's a decent enough figure, and it will look nice in my collection. Anyway, so thanks for joining me. I did, by the way, pick this up at Target. It was around $30. So for a Voyager class, if I'm not mistaken, that's what the box says. So, you know, yeah, you know, I know that Transformers are getting a little bit more expensive, so, but I think that, you know, for the Voyager class, it's not a bad figure, so I'm looking forward to see more in the Legacy line and what they're going to do with it. They're going to have an animated thing or what, a cartoon, I don't know, who knows. Anyway, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you subscribe to my channel here, if you want to see more of my videos, it helps me. It doesn't cost anything, and I will talk to you all later.